Hello, 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 hello. Another day of live coding. In Australia, it's Monday morning. In the US and everywhere else in the world, it's probably Sunday, middle of the night. So I'm going to get stuck straight into it. Doing some coding, working on my live auto captions. Been doing some work on it over the weekend. You can see it in action here. I've created this nice speech bubble effect. And when I stop talking, it will disappear. And then reappears when I talk again. So I wanted to add some dynamic functionality to this thing. And I wanted this to really have some sort of special feel to it. Tried to do it with the way that the text came on screen, but it found a bit too difficult. So the speech bubble was recommended. Been playing around with it and I think it works. What do you think? And I can also trigger words. So if I say thank you, it will celebrate that I've got a new subscriber. And I can also say hello, and Kenny will pop up on the screen. They're just a few of the triggers that I've added into it. So I'm pretty excited and happy at how that's coming along. So I want to get stuck straight into code today. First I want to set up a little bit of a checklist what I'm going to be working on. So I've set up this camera so I can get to my whiteboard a bit easier. I got this camera, I got my screen, and my keyboard, which decided not to work all of a sudden. Let me see what's going on there. Yep, there we are. So the keyboard's back. Desk cam. Hello. Code cam. Webcam. MacBook cam. So first thing, I'm using Giphy to process the animations, but I'm wondering if Tenor is a better option, Tenor GIF keyboard, because there's a bit of a approval process with Giphy. So I'm just signing into Tenor now. Tenor API key. It seems to be backed by Google. API key registration. I have to register. API version 1 API key no longer supported. Yet view your key in the developer keyboard. Please log in to complete activation. Choosing some different music. I want something that's a bit uplifting, bit So Tenor developer says, please log in to activate your account. But I am logged in. Maybe there's an activation in my email. Try signing out and logging in again, I reckon. The log out doesn't work, so something's not working well with their developer area. Okay, please log in to complete activation. Sign in. Sign in button doesn't work. Please log in to complete activation. Profile, no. Just trying to get tenor GIF keyboard to work. Well, trying to actually just get a developer account. I can't show the screen doing that because I don't want to leak any API keys. But I thought it should be just a matter of just setting up an account and going, but it doesn't seem to be that easy. Go to the docs. Tenor API key. Get a tenor API key. Okay, I'm onto something. You're ready to start developing with Tenor API. I'm using some weirdness happening. Yeah, I think we dropped out briefly there. So it's dropped out, it's reconnected. So hello, if you've just rejoined. Working on live auto captions, that's adding the captions automatically at the bottom of the screen as I'm talking. There's a little bit of a delay to make sure that the word is correctly detected. Hello, Ed Rocks. Let's go, the passive income man. Thanks, Ed. All these animations being triggered are from the app I'm working on, Live Auto Captions. So I've got some keywords in there when it's triggered. At the moment, I'm just trying to get captions working. Not captions. I'm trying to look into the feasibility So I'm working on converting from Giphy to tenor keyboard for the GIF animations. I've been seeing that Giphy now is charging like a few $1,000s per year for API access. So I'm looking into what other options are. And also they've got a bit of an approval process where you have to manually be approved to have your app created. Approved by to use their API. So Hi Num. Hey Adam, have you ever noticed any lag or glitches with the mouse or keyboard? I bought both the Logitech MX Master 3 and MX keys but returned them because of delay and stutter. Yeah, I have noticed that. I've had to put the USB dongle in visible range, not too far away from the actual so the USB is actually just here underneath, so it's within range. Any further and I get quite a bit of a delay and quite a bit of a stutter, and sometimes when the delay and stutter happens I generally have to like turn off the mouse and turn it on again to reset it or plug it into the charger. I think it's when the battery gets a bit flat or it doesn't have proper range or it's on a channel that's a bit noisy. Now I'm wondering if... So what I've done is I've got Claude to convert my Giphy API over to Tenor. And I'm going to see if that works, if it's just that simple. Hopefully it's just that simple. Tenor is T-E-N-O-R. I think. Tenor, yes. So what I want to do is updating the code with the API, so I don't want to leak any API keys. Let me see. Tenor API. That's the correct one. Yes. I'm going to restart the captions. Let's see if now I get... I do think I'm caching the results. I'm going to clear the cache of the results. And temp folder, that's already clear. So, and I've got it set to US while I'm building. English US. I want to set that to English Australia. This is just hard coded at the moment. Restart. Okay, let's see if this works. Now I've got some triggers, so when I say hello, it should trigger a GIF animation of someone waving. And did that work? It may have to load it, so let's try again. Hello, let's see if that triggered the animation. Not triggering the animation. Because of course I've got, it's probably, although I've updated the API, so let's see. Error 500, that's the issue that I'm coming up against. So I'm going to add logging to the server, error logging, Try again. Simply a call. So the back end is done in PHP. I'm not showing the code for that while I'm working on it because there's going to be some exposed API keys. Alright, so I seem to have that working now. It can connect without getting a 500 error. Now I need to turn the error logging off. Clear the server cache again. Delete, delete. And we restart captions. Now captions are restarted when I say hello. It should trigger an animation. Might take a while for the animation to load, but I can see that is now trying to load and we've got a hello. That's a full screen. I've also got a trigger that says thank you, which should do a celebration GIF. Kind of works. I think that it is going full screen. I don't know what I think about it going full screen. The other ones, Giphy, were more sort of overlays. I mean, the full screen might work in some instances, I guess. So what I will do is request. So Giphy have what's known as stickers. You can have stickers or GIFs. So I'm hoping if I just ask Tenor keyboard, restarting. So if I ask Tenor keyboard to do a GIF in the search request, maybe, just maybe, it will replicate the same functionality. So let's test it. When I say hello, it should do an animation of a hello, of Kenny waving. Will that work? It's loading, it's loading. It didn't load anything. Hello, let's see if that works. It should load a picture of hello. It should load a picture of Kenny. Oh my, it's K-pop. So Giphy works better for having stickers where it's got a transparent background. And I think Tenor, it looks like they're full screen, so I'm not quite sure how to just get stickers from it. Might have to investigate a bit more. The other one I have is a thank you, and that will trigger a celebration animation. And we've got Minnie Mouse. So I was just pulling the first result, and that first result was celebration sticker as the search. What's everyone building today? I'd be interested to know. I know it's Sunday night in the rest of the world. Monday morning, beautiful Monday morning here in Australia, in Melbourne particularly. It is, let me see what temperature it is. It is 15 degrees. So for all of you non-Celsius people, it's 59 degrees Fahrenheit. 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so with these tenor keyboards as well, you can ask for a lower quality version. I'm not quite sure, maybe that's a better idea for streaming, maybe not. For getting quick access to a GIF that's a lower bit rate, it would work, but for showing on a stream full screen, probably not that great. Let's just start doing searches on tenor keyboard. Switching over to the thing. So if I wanted to find like a celebration, they do have stickers. They do have stickers. So how do I get, if I just add format stickers to the API, will that work? Hopefully that's all that it takes. Back again in server code. And format equals stickers. Refresh the cache. Delete the cache. Restart captions. Okay, so hopefully now this pulls across a hello sticker, and the search is for a Kenny, not a yellow sticker, a hello sticker. And it should be Kenny waving. Why does it keep wanting to do yellow? Hello, this is a test. This is a test to see what is triggered. And it's not doing what I want it to do. I don't want it to be full screen. I'm gonna have to look up the documentation. GIF API documentation. Can I find sticker? Parameters. Got client key, search filter sticker. That's what we're looking for. Returns both static and animated sticker content. Returns only animated sticker content. That's what I want. So I just need to add search filter. Sometimes it pays to look at the documentation. So instead of format stickers, we want search filter, sticker not static. Refresh. Delete the cache. Restart the captions. Hello, we are testing the sticker in tenor keyboard. It's loading, it's loading. That's better, but it's got no transparent background. Is that across all GIFs on tenor keyboard? I've also got one that when I say thank you, it triggers a celebration. And I want to see if that, yeah, so there's no transparent background. Content filter, the default value is off. Specify the content safety filter. I think that's probably a good idea because it is being triggered based on words being said. So if it wants to trigger something that's not safe for a stream, you don't want that. So the default value is off, the accepted values are off, low, medium, and high. I think we should try high. So content filter, I'm going back to the backend code so you can't see what I'm working on, but trust me, I'm adding content filter equals high. Media filter. Strongly recommended. Comma separate a list of GIF formats to filter the response objects by default. Media filter returns all formats for each response type. Example, media filter. That's where you can do this tiny GIF. So I'm going to add a tiny search by tiny GIF to start off with and just see what impact that has. AR range. Filter the response objects to only include GIFs with aspect ratios that fit the selected range. No, we don't need to worry about that. Specify whether to randomly order the response. By default, this is false. That might be good actually, because we want to have, I don't know. Like I want to have some sort of dynamic functionality to it where it pops out at you and does something different. But if it's a bit unpredictable, we'll hold off on that one, yeah, especially while we're coding. Fetch the specific number. The default is 20. Retrieve results that start at the position value. There's no way to specify like a... Maybe it was because it was a MP4 result. That's why it didn't have a transparent background. So I'm going to clear the cache. Hello, Julio. This will trigger a wave. It didn't trigger a wave. It's basically using the speech to text built into SwiftUI, and then I'm going to do some better processing after if the confidence level isn't as good, so that it gets words a bit better. So that's why it's working so fast. But there is a bit of a delay because the text-to-speech rewrites and rewords things as you're talking. So there's like a half a second delay or 1/3 of a second delay so that it gets the words right before it displays. So I'm just testing whether that's a good delay to have, but it's nice to hear that your feedback is that it's doing it so fast. And I've got like a nice animation. What I've been working on is this speech bubble. When I stop talking, it disappears, and when I start talking again, it reappears. But right now, I'm trying to work on... I'm restarting it, so I've cleared the cache. I've cleared the cache, and now I'm hopefully getting the stickers and not the full screen GIF animations. So when I say hello, it should trigger the animation. But I don't know if it is, because it didn't before. So what's going on? Maybe... Hello, Christopher. Thank you. It's coming along. Julio. Awesome. That looks great so far. Thank you. I'm really happy with it. That thank you as well should trigger animation. Don't know why things aren't being triggered. Christopher wasn't expecting a fun UI like this. It was always the intention of it, but I was going to go down a different path. It's going to go down the path with like short form content where the words pop up on screen and do weird animations to grab your attention. But the issue with that when I was testing it is it's already quite distracting with the words changing on screen as it is. So I needed a way to sort of encapsulate it, add the dynamic functionality to it without distracting you from being able to read what's actually said. So someone came up with the idea of putting it in a speech bubble. And I tested it, and it seems to work quite nicely. And then I've got like a little animation that pops up and down on screen that adds the dynamic. And then I can still have like, if it's traditional type subtitles, it can still sort of pop onto screen ever so slightly, and then pop away from the screen. Okay, so it's returning, the actual API itself is returning null results. So one of those searches don't seem to work all that well. Let's try again. When I add media filter tiny GIF, it returns a null result. So the API, and also I've got content filter set to high. So it's not the content filter, it's this media result tiny GIF. So let me just return that to GIF. Okay, so it works when I set it to GIF. Tiny GIF doesn't work in tenor. That's a shame, but like I said, I'm not quite sure that I was convinced that I need to go down that path. So I'm going to clear the cache on the server. Delete, delete. And in actual fact, we don't need to be pulling a lot of data. There was limit, we will set the limit to 5. Limit equals 5. That way we might be able to pull randomly from 5, I guess, but it's not going to pull like a whole 20 or 30 GIFs. Refresh. Restart. Okay, let's see if this works now. When I say hello, it will trigger the animation of Kenny waving. Let's see if that works. It triggered it, but it's not semi-transparent. And also when I say thank you, it will trigger a celebration animation. Hi Nico. Hello Nico. When I'm working on the server, I'm not doing it on the stream because I'm just working with some API keys at the moment. So trying not to leak my API keys. So that I'm doing on a different window. My apologies. But when I work on the front end, I'll be sharing that. At the moment, I'm not quite sure. The tenor API works well, but oddly enough, GIFs are not semi-transparent, are not transparent background. Is that a problem? I would have liked it to have been transparent, because the animation that I particularly liked was the Giphy animation. So I'm going to quickly just switch back to Giphy. Show you the difference. Okay, restart captions. So this is my ideal functionality. When I say hello, Kenny pops up waving with a semi-transparent background. That works with Giphy API. It works with Tenor API, but there's no semi-transparent layer, which means it overlaps everything, which is annoying because this thank you animation where it shows a celebration is a big part of what I think this app has the capability of doing. So it has an overlay that displays on top of whatever's happening on stream. If it's taking over, there's no semi-transparent, it's taking over, then it's not going to work. Umesh, hello Umesh. When I say hello, it triggers Kenny waving. that worked. And that's through Giphy API. Hello, Umesh. I am going well. How are you going? Is it middle of the night for you, or is it Monday morning for everyone? Tenor API transparent GIF. So people complaining about GIFs. Sunday evening in Toronto. What time in Toronto? Evening suggests like after 9ish. So there are, like, they do have transparent. So the one I'm doing is Kenny Wave. And I'm going for stickers. It does have a transparent. So why isn't it being transparent when I call it? Must be something on my end. But if it was on the client side, the GIF API, Giphy API wouldn't have that weird action. So I want to move away from Giphy because it's apparently going to be like $2 grand or $3 grand a year to access the API per app. This app, I'm not really intending to make a huge amount of money on it at this stage. So I don't really want to spend a whole bunch of money on GIF animation. What I'm just doing is I'm back on the back end, and I'm just gonna see what the actual GIF looks like, because I'm just relying that it's my code or yeah, Kenny waving. Alright. Go back to here. So this is the actual image. Definitely has a white background, not transparent. Kenny waving, maybe it's that whole sticker thing. Kenny waving here. What is the difference? Can it just be that? So if I do, but that's not even transparent, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe there's a semi-transparent element to that. But I noticed there's an I in the URL here and a capital C there. I wonder if that's the same here. So that is a capital C. That was pulled from... So, if you put I at the end of the URL, there is some sort of transparency happening, I think. Weird behavior. Maybe that's the sticker. Maybe if I remove it all together, that's nothing. Do I just iterate through? So what would C stand for? What would I stand for? Maybe O for original. Original. Alpha. That made a smaller version. Uppercase A. Uppercase and lowercase has an impact? No. Okay. So maybe B, C, D. What? So that filters something to do with it. E. F. F is static, like a thumbnail almost. G. H. I we know. I we know. J. J is a smaller version of I. K. L. Ooh. Something happened there. This is a video. This looks like this is a video version. M. Smaller video. N. Smaller again. O. We tried O. P. Q. Static. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. That's still got a transparent. Not transparent. Y. Oh. Z. So our best bet is this. Was it I? What was it? The background? I. Our best bet is to replace reference of / uppercase C with I lowercase. Let's just hack that on the server. I'm going to switch over to switching over again to my client code. We're going to be working on the server code. Data replace data. I want to replace /C with I / yeah. That's just a hack. That's just a hack. Let's see if that does anything better. Go back to the screen. Actually, I need to clear the server cache. Delete. Delete. Go back to the screen. Refresh. Okay, this is the test to see if hello now triggers Kenny a bit better with a background. Yes, we did it. Undocumented feature in Tenor API. You change the URL to I instead of the C and you get the nice semi-transparent background. I need a celebration celebration trigger. What's the celebration going to be? At the moment, the word that triggers it is thank you for working, Tenor API. Wonder what animation. Hang on, no. Maybe it didn't work. I'm still using Giphy. False celebration. Alright. I'm going to switch back over to Tenor. I could tell I was using the wrong one because that animation is not on tenor. That was the Giphy animation. Okay, let's see if it works. Hello, this should be Kenny waving. Is it working? Is it working? Now it doesn't work. Maybe we've got a server error. Tenor. Okay, I do have a server error. Replace. I did search replace subject. Search replace subject. I had it around the wrong way. Refresh. Clear the cache. And it encodes it, so it's actually C// forward. It's not replacing it on the server. Are we on tenor? We are. Are we loading from cache? No, we're not. Does that work? No. Ah, I know what I'm doing. You can't see it because I'm working on the server code, but I need to encode it better. Decode it better. Okay, so now I've got the animation. Should be triggering clear the cache on the server. Delete, delete. Restart captions. This is now tenor keyboard. When I say hello, Kenny should trigger. When I say hello, Kenny should trigger. There he is, and he's semi-transparent, which is what we wanted. I'm not going to get too eagerly away celebrating because I could still be using Giphy keyboard. So when I say thank you, it should do a party popper little thing that was on tenor keyboard. Yes, 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 yes. It works. Okay, that's just saved me around 2 grand, 3 grand per year, and less of an approval process to get this app running without having the manual approval that Giphy API needs. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. When I say happy, I should celebrate. At the moment, I'm hard-coded. I've hard-coded all of the keywords. We were listening to content last night, so I've got some keywords in there that were doing it. Happy, I want it to do like happy emoji. If I say sad, it'll be a sad emoji, and I want to be able to customize these all later. Okay, let's see if I am happy with the results of the new way that this processes. Let's see. Yes, I am. I am very happy with the results, how that is working. I love that. What if I am sad at the results? That would be a very bad day, wouldn't it? That GIF's not as good quality, but you get the point. We have love. Love. Angry. I don't want to be angry at the code. And it has to load it the first time it sees it. I want to love the code. That was supposed to be love emoji. But yeah, that's coming along quite. I'm happy with that. And then I want to trigger what keywords, what things are mostly said. Oh, and actually, what I just saw then was the second the subtitle disappeared, the animation popped up. There should be a minimum time that an animation displays, even if the subtitle disappears. Hi, Astron. Hello, Astron Coder. Thanks for joining in. Okay, when GIFs are chained together, it acts a bit chaotic. There should be a cooldown between GIFs displaying. Astron Coder, I am using Restream. Restream. Restream.io. So I'll put it into chat. I am using to broadcast on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at the same time. I put the link in the description, in the chat. You're welcome, Astron. I ended up, so you can broadcast to 2 places or 1 for free. And if you want to broadcast to 3, you have to sign up for the basic subscription. They're subscriptions. So I think I'm subscribed at the moment to this $16 a month one. It removes a watermark and you can multi-stream to 3 channels. So it's Twitter, YouTube and Twitch. And I think yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so it was $190. I paid for a year, $190 a year. Otherwise, if you just do one source, one destination, I think it's free, but with a watermark. Restream. See, what this Restream wants to do is show all of my dashboard. There we are. I have to go into incognito to show you. You're welcome, Astron. Multi-streaming. Had the icons, so it can also broadcast to LinkedIn, TikTok, Kick, and Facebook. I'd love to broadcast as well to TikTok. I think that's where there's possibly an audience. I don't know. But you need like 1,000 subscribers to be able to broadcast, to subscribe to do a live stream on TikTok. LinkedIn, I'm not sure. Maybe there's. I don't really use LinkedIn all that much, but maybe there's an audience in there to broadcast to. But I guess it's like it jumps from. It's a big jump to then be able to broadcast to one of those others. So I think when I get TikTok up to 1,000 subscribers and I can broadcast there, I might jump onto that plan if I'm still using it. I like their website. Okay, so what have I found just in that test? I would like to... So I'm writing some list of what I want to get done today. Astron, I'm using the $16 one. I paid for a year just to broadcast to 3 channels. It's free if you want to broadcast to 1 channel. So I want to be able to customize the triggers and customize what GIF is displayed. I want to have a cooldown so it doesn't go really crazy with the animation. And what else do I want? So I got to get to there, I need to create the settings. I don't know if you can read that, but today I want to get through customizing the GIFs. So at the moment they're hard-coded in there. That's just a test that it works, and to get it to work, I want to have a cooldown. My head's in the wrong spot when I do that. So I want to have a cooldown. So I've got to create a settings page. The settings page will have setup of a window. So the window pops up, the setting window pops up. Then I want to be able to animate, I want to customize the animations, that's the first step. And then also I want to be able to customize the style of the captions. At the moment the style is hard coded as this speech bubble, but it's going to have a few different ones in there, like a traditional subtitle. The ability to customize whether it's 1 word at a time showing on the screen, or in this case I think I've got like 14 words maximum, and then also the delay between pop-ups. At the moment I've set to about 0.2 or 0.3 of a second, so if I stop and then I restart, it will automatically start a new speech bubble. And those, I've just been trying to work out what works with those timings based on just testing it. So that's what I'm working on today. First test was just getting that GIF keyboard working a bit better. I'm gonna grab another drink. Now the fun begins. I've got the last of these Monster energy drinks. They hurt my teeth. I bought a whole big crate of them from Amazon. And they make my teeth a bit sensitive. So this is the last of them. Gone back to Monster after this. I was enjoying the different taste. Getting a bit bored of the Monster drinks. So I want to be able to create a window. Select all, delete. I'm just going to clear all of the windows in the background so I can share my screen. How to create a window in Mac OS SwiftUI app that is triggered on a button click and also added to the file menu. The window is Settings View. NS window. So you have to manually call it as a window. App delegate. See, I'm not quite sure about this app delegate because SwiftUI on iOS doesn't have any of that. So this is all new to me. To create a window in Mac OS SwiftUI app that's triggered by a button click and also added to the file menu, you'll need to set up a few things. Here's a step-by-step guide. First, create the settings view. I should really create that. I'm liking in the new SwiftUI, I can add, I can say from clipboard, automatically creates settings view, import SwiftUI. It automatically creates the name of it, adds it in there. That's great. Create window group for the settings. Settings window. Okay. How do I pass environment? I'm gonna have to get to that next. Environment variables. In your main abstract, add settings window to the window group. Okay, that's probably where I have to do it. Window group. I don't know why I triggered it then. I'm just so used to every time I make a change, just testing it. In your content view, create a state variable to control the window's visibility. So it just displays as a sheet. Okay. Well, I've already got in the view, I've got my gear. The gear appears when I move my mouse over there, and I want this gear to load up show settings view. Hang on. We don't want it in there. It's actually button settings view in the content. Already got it preset. And I want that to be always available. And I'm going to call it show windows, show settings sheet. I'm going to call it actually, change my mind. Private variable show windows sheet. Settings view true. and that just does settings view. To add the settings option to the file menu, you'll need to use, actually before I do anything else, I need to put this on focus mode. There we are. To add settings option to the file menu, you need to use commands modifier in your app struct. Do I have an app struct? Yes, I do. That's that one. Commands. Settings. Cannot find app delegator. Finally, create an app delegate to handle the action menu. Is it just simply... Okay. Alright, let's launch and see what that did. Okay, that didn't work there. We've got settings there, and that didn't work there. Well, that's annoying. This will create a settings menu that will be open both from button in your main content. The command appeared in the file drop-down, but clicking it did nothing, and clicking the button on content view did nothing either. First, let's create a window manager. Oh my. Window manager. Update your main app structure to use window manager. We got, okay. Oh, okay, so we're setting up like a overreaching state object, and that goes into here, window manager. I guess that's how we're going to be able to push the settings to there as well. Commands. I don't think we need the app delegate anymore. I think that's obsolete. Cannot declare performance. Was that because of that? Update your content view to use the window manager. Content view. Window manager. I need to do the environment variable. Window manager. We no longer are using this show settings. We can remove that. Your settings view can remain the same. Let's see if that works. Oh no, we're definitely gonna have an issue. This is because I haven't added app kit. Oh, it's changed the main one as well. It's not what we wanted. Because I had that all set up nicely, didn't I? I think that's going to reset it every time. No. But I need that to be... I'm going to have to turn chroma key off to reposition the window. There we are. Chroma key back on. I'm going to step through it. Settings. Okay, it did show us settings. Cool. Close the window. That triggers closing the window, but we have an error, like a hard crash. Doesn't work when I click there, but does work when I go to there. Open settings window. We're triggering it there, so I don't know why it doesn't want to work there. Maybe that's not triggering. Settings. Yep, that's not triggering. That's my issue. Button, action, action. Yeah, but buttons act weird in my keyboard. There it is. Funny you should mention the keyboard not working, because mine's decided not to work. One thing I find very frustrating about the MX keys is that when you plug it into USB, it's not actually pairing with the... No data is transferred through there, that's purely just the... Actually, I don't think that's plugged in. That's why that's not working. I've got a different plug, actually. Okay. On. Yeah, so that plug now it's working. one of the more finicky apps out there. Now I've lost my thought. Okay, on tap gesture, do the action, do the thing. I think I've got a USB issue, so there's so many devices connect up to this hub. So I just noticed the camera, the keyboard camera went silly. Settings manager, settings. That worked. Close window, hopefully it doesn't crash. Crash. Oh my god. Holy crap. That just burnt. Okay. Oh my. Whoa. I don't think that was supposed to happen. My office smells like smoke. Literally, the little plug, this magnet plug, just melted. I'm gonna unplug it because it's still plugged in. Where's that one going to? Wow. I've been, yeah, okay. Really lucky I didn't leave that in overnight, because usually I leave my keyboard charging overnight, and that has just, like, these little magnetic things that I bought from Amazon, like, my keyboard's hot. Oh, hope I didn't wreck it. Still works, still works. It actually melted, like it melted the whole, I don't know if you can see that. It's hot, it's hot. It melted this whole bit, this. Oh, I've lost confidence in these things. So I bought all these little cables that have these little magnetic attachments. It's supposed to look like that. This one just melted. Completely melted. So the I had that one plugged straight into the power point, into, maybe they're not rated for that many voltage, that many volts. Maybe that was my issue. But I've lost a bit of confidence in it. So that is supposed to stick onto there. It no longer attaches onto there. I don't know. That shook me. The room smells like melted plastic. I was just coding and then I saw just smoke coming up and I thought, that's weird. Why is there smoke? But like I said, I'm really glad I didn't leave that on overnight. That wouldn't have been good. Didn't trigger any sort of response from any power board or anything. Just started to burn. And the cable got really hot. Yeah, I don't think those are supposed to go straight into the power board. I think they're probably for data. And if they're only like low voltage, then it's not much of a problem. But if they're high voltage, back to it. Can't let a little nearly burning down the house stop us, can we? Alright. Okay. When I close the window, the app crashes. Bad. What's the error we're getting? Close window. Error is bad. Execute bad memory. I apologize for the oversight. Crash is likely occurring because window... I like to scroll up when you're doing it. Because window is being deallocated, but our window manager is still trying to access it. Let's modify our approach to handle this scenario more safely. Settings, close, crash, still crash. I apologize for the continued issues. Settings identifiable. First, let's create a simple setting struct to identify our window. Now let's update the main app struct. Okay, this is looking a bit more complicated. Class app state. Update the content view. Are we no longer using this window manager? Okay. Yeah, I don't think that window manager is being used anymore. Does this work? No. In the settings view can remain the same. This approach uses a new approach. Yeah, so this... Do we need to do something there? Yeah, so state object. We're going to remove window manager. Window manager completely removed from there. I think window manager's removed from there now. We're going with a completely different approach. Window manager. Let's see if that works. So every time I hit run, all of my USB ports seem to be restarting. I can hear it in my headphones. My headphones restart. The camera is restarting. I think that's because it's plugging onto the microphone, checking out the microphone. So while I'm building this app, probably can't do... Well, maybe I can disconnect this one. Let's see if that... Ah, I know. The keyboard camera has a microphone that you can hook into. So all the audio settings are restarting. So I might just turn the keyboard camera off. Desk cam off. I'm going to turn my phone off. My camera off. That gives me a bit of room for this to be down here. I've also got this gradient, which can be rotated and put down there. And my keyboard's playing up again. I think I've just end up having too many things. Hi Mark, eating my Tim Tams with this Matrix music is an experience on a whole another level. Well, I don't know what the music is now though. Let's go next. This is basically like royalty-free music that I can play on stream, and I'm trying to do like electric music that gets me moving. So I can't do lo-fi. Don't like lo-fi. Lo-fi, I can't code with it. People like to code with it. I don't like to code with it. Alright, restarting. That has moved position again. move that down like so. We've got that there like that. Okay. Settings. Settings work. I can see my settings screen. Close settings, no longer crashes. Drop down menu settings, doesn't work. Have I got the app thing working? Yeah, that's supposed to be there. It works when I click it there, not working when well, new window. I don't want to do new window. I didn't even know that's a possibility. Settings. Okay. Settings in drop down file no longer working. You can align, set a keyboard shortcut to the window. Open settings. So now where the app state no longer just sets is settings open. I'm going to go off track with what it's recommending. We've got the settings view here. I've got this thing called open window. Open window is an environment variable. That's why we can't call it from here. Okay. NS window scene. Mark, are you in Australia? Is this? Open settings. That doesn't seem to be upset with it. Settings. That's a different way of doing it again. Extra trailing closure passed in call. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Oh, if we put Swift UI in there, Swift UI is in there. Skip it for now. Open settings. I think we already changed that. So we can remove this open window. Open settings. Hello, Mr. Med. Is it worth it to learn Swift as a new language? As a first language? It depends. What experience do you have? Like no experience coding, or do you have some experience coding? Okay, open settings. That triggers open settings here. That. Please use settings link for opening the settings scene. Settings. Settings. We can remove that one, I guess. I knew this was going to be a tricky thing to implement. I just knew it. Maybe I'm trying to do something that I probably shouldn't be doing, which is maybe I should decide one or the other, whether I should have a settings that's clickable at the top or a settings in the file. I'm going to scrap. I think I'm down the wrong path. Actually, settings window. Mr. Med, 2 years of experience with Java, but just asking for beginners. I feel like the path, lean into whatever language that you've worked with in the past. If it's JavaScript, then some of the hybrid solutions work well. If you're starting from scratch, I think Swift is pretty accessible. If you have a Mac, you can download Xcode and just start building in Swift, and then asking ChatGPT to help you. I think these days the skill set of coding is disappearing, and it's more about being able to implement the solutions that it shows, so more problem solving. And I know for me, I learned through the problem solving. So right now I've never really got Windows to work in Mac OS. So I'm just throwing it into ChatGPT, into Claude, and then back again, and then working what works, and then I'm sort of hacking my way through it. With that said, I'm not being very successful with it. I think I'm going to scrap it. Scrap the code that I'm working on. And instead of going down this path where it could be triggered in 2 areas, focus on one area first. in here, in this settings view, it seemed to work well by doing the open window method. App state. Going to keep that hidden for now. Fresh start. I want to create a settings menu in Mac OS SwiftUI app file settings that loads settings view. Surely it's easier than the way that we were doing it. Surely. That looks more elegant. Maybe I was confusing with the outcome. Show settings. If it's that easy, show settings does nothing. Maybe there's something in my settings. No. It's giving me a solution that does nothing. Show settings doesn't seem to trigger anything. You're right, and I apologize for the confusion in my previous response. The show settings state variable isn't actually used in the code I provided. And then we go down a bit more of a complicated method. Show settings window. Inside the button action, we use show settings window. This sends the show settings window action to the app, which is the standard way to open the settings menu in a Mac OS app. Okay. Don't need show settings there. Settings. Please use settings link for opening settings scene. Error says, please use settings link for opening settings scene. I apologize for the oversight. You're absolutely right, and thank you for bringing this to my attention. The error message. Settings link. It's that easy. That's... settings. That seems more elegant. Settings link is only available with Mac OS 14 or later. Or later. Mr. Med, are you coding in Java or JavaScript? Settings. Settings window worked. I wonder if I could do this. Let open settings, and then what we do is we pass so when we do the settings view, we then pass open settings. Open settings. Hello, Sadat. How are you going? I'm not going to get too carried away with getting it to execute from here just yet. Primary concern is getting it so we can start customizing settings. In Mac OS, I want to create a settings view with different tabs, menu, different areas. For example, I wrote them on the blackboard. Animations, styles, using a default Swift UI settings view, ideally a native API available without rebuilding the entire view. Not listening to me. Load failed. So that I just finished an unbeatable tic-tac-toe game with Minimax algorithm using Python. So did you finish it successfully? Tab view. Settings view. So that, just thinking about making an iOS app with same logic, I just need to convert Python to Swift. That's where things like ChatGPT and Claude come in really handy. That sort of translation of text of languages. Oh, look at this. That's a nice settings screen now. So we have the animations and the styles. I even chose some nice images for it. So what we want to do with the animations is to have a word that's triggered, or multiple words that are triggered, and the animation that will be displayed. Also want to make that window a bit bigger. 600 by 600 by 800. What's a good size for that one? Settings. Probably too big. Okay. So see that, was that a tic-tac-toe game that you created in Python, or like a way to find the solution to a tic-tac-toe problem? Settings. That's a more decent size. You can't see because I've got it on the screen, but if I go to screen, I turn the captions overlay off. That's the size of the settings screen now, so I like that one. And then when I turn the overlay of the actual captions on. In the beginning, I was thinking about uploading to the App Store, but last night I watched one of your videos and you were saying Apple does not want some apps, so probably someone make an app and upload it. What do you mean? Hello, Zaki. How are you going today? It's the middle of the day here in Australia. Yeah, middle of the day. What time is it there? In the settings view, I want to share the captions environment object. Keyboard is laggy. Caption settings equals caption. Oh my goodness. Caption settings. I wonder if I can push this to there as well. Caption settings. Settings, caption settings. Sadat. Its game player makes X moves and compute makes 0 moves. And computer makes 0. Game player uses the X in the tic-tac-toe and the computer uses 0. And what about the video made you decide not to release it? Zaki, 1:53 AM. So I guess it's Monday where you're coming from now. That didn't crash, and I have settings shared between both windows. That's good. That's good. Nice. Caption settings. Settings. And what we want to have is why is my keyboard so laggy? Animation settings view. It's not keeping up with my typing. Gonna find a cable. I don't know if you're live, if you came on the stream before, but my cable webcam, my cable burned. It caught on fire or just burned. So I need to find another cable. The app is live captions. So the captions being displayed on the screen are generated by the app. And then I can trigger things like saying hello and it'll wave at you. I need to find a cable so I can get some power to my keyboard. The title was "This app was my biggest flop," and you were saying Apple rejected apps due to spam. Yeah, maybe a tic-tac-toe game might be rejected. It's worth a shot if you've already built it, but if you're planning on building a tic-tac-toe game, I don't know, there could be a lot on there. But also games are hard to promote. Maybe a tic-tac-toe game, people are searching for it. I raided the car to get a cable. Now I need to find a bit of an extension so I can reach them. Zaki, and you're going to use it just for the stream, or is it for something else? This is a product I'm building, so there's a series of products I'm building for video editing. The bigger project I'm building is like automatic captions for short form content, and then I'm trying to apply the same logic to this use case, which is for live streams. So once this is finished, this will be available on the App Store for anyone to add automatic captionings live to their streams. And then it triggers GIF animations, and then in the future I could also hopefully integrate it into chat. So if I say like I'll be right back, it'll put in chat be right back, or even trigger, you could even make it trigger something on OBS. So there's a few options that I can do with it, but for the time being the version 1.0 will be what you're seeing now, with a few different styles of the automatic captions and the animation that pops up on the screen when it's triggered by a word. I think that's a good version 1.0. And I want to get it released by the end of the month, which is a week and a half away. I have power. Let's see if the keyboard is still lagging. Had a few technical glitches today. I think that seems to be always the case when you're doing a live stream. Because So Twitter will, yeah, so Twitter has done it a couple of times where it cancels the stream and then resubmits the stream if you drop in and out. And because I've had a few technical issues, this stream keeps basically dropping in and dropping out. That's right. I just don't want to spam people, is all. Alright, let's see if I got lag on this keyboard anymore. So on animation settings view, that's better. I'm going to create a new template and we're going to do animation settings view. See that? Almost every day I am trying to solve at least one leet code problem. Do you think is worth it? So you've got like a challenge of codes to things to run through that challenge you each day? Is it a website you're using? And we want style settings view. What I might do is refactor this one. I want that to be settings animation. Bit easier to navigate. Settings animation, settings style view. New template, settings style view. So now we have setting style and that one. We can build this one in, where did it go to? Where did the previews go in this new version of Xcode? I used to be able to show the preview on the right hand side, where this goes to. All these bugs that have come inside since I went to the car. Like not actual code bugs, like real actual bugs. So that, yes, it's a coding challenge website. You can improve your algorithm and data structure abilities. What website's that one? Period tracker app. Add keywords, period tracker. I think it's quite a competitive keyword. yeah, it's just quite a competitive keyword. I'll be back. Someone's at the door. Siddharth, are you thinking about making Learn Swift videos? I think there's heaps of Learn Swift videos out there. And it doesn't matter what programming language you use, I think it's more important to know how to make a product that people will use and people will download. And that's where I try to focus on a lot more, on the balancing life, the process of creating a product and marketing a product. Leet code, any ideas? Zaki, any ideas on leet code? Leet code. World's leading online programming. I'm behind my VPN as well. That's why that came up. Yeah, I like that. That sort of way is a really good way to learn programming. Now, in Xcode 16, how to show preview panel. Once you've added preview, editor canvas, that's what I was looking for. Editor canvas. Okay. So now this functionality I can build in the IDE. Okay. But we don't want it on that one. Canvas. Turn that one off for the moment. And we want to bring the environment variable in. Content view can have the preview turned off. caption settings. Alright. Word triggers. Animation triggers. Animation trigger. Class animation trigger. Observable object. And that will be words as a string. And do I want it to just search for an image? I want to be able to select a GIF location. GIF URL as a URL. And that could be optional. Search phrase. I'm not sure that we need that, but string is nothing. GIF URL as URL equals nil. Search phrase as string. Still a bit laggy, this keyboard. Equals nil. Zaki, any ideas for less competitive app niches? If you're a Swift UI coder, Zaki, check out these AI identifier apps. They're doing well. You can start generating revenue from it straight away. And on my GitHub, should be in the description of this video, if not on my profile, jump onto my website, adamlytleapps.com. 2 T's in Lytle. And there's some code in there, and it's pretty easy to spin up your own AI wrapper, and then look for a keyword that you could target well. That would be my recommendation to get stuck into building a product. Screen, Claude. No, we want Astro. So for example, I think, what's a good keyword? Gem identifier. So then these types of keywords where the popularity is quite low and the difficulty is quite low, they're good keywords to target. And these identifier apps are doing well. I'd recommend down that path if you're just starting out and you want to generate some revenue, and if you're looking for a niche. Otherwise, just build what you like. Do some keyword research, find an idea that you like, and get stuck into it. Animation trigger. The animation triggers that we have at the moment are where did I just add that? Caption settings. So we had animation trigger, words, thank you, thanks, I said celebrate. Animation trigger. Words are hello, hi, howdy. And the one that I'm doing for the test is Kenny waving. I'm not sure I want to keep typing search phrase. Kenny waving. Happy, sad, love. Happy emoji. Sad, sad emoji. Love emoji. Angry emoji. We were watching a video about picky eaters and I was just testing it with that. So I'm not going to go down the path of like food. That doesn't need to be a real trigger. Pikachu eating something. So I think the commonly used words are things like, these are the commonly used words. I want to be able to manage them. Animation trigger, import foundation. This is my settings animations view. This is my caption settings. I want to create a user interface for managing animation triggers in a view called Sidat, do you think you have enough knowledge about Swift to get a job? My objective isn't necessarily to get a job. I'm quite happy building my own apps and working on my own time. But I think if I was to apply for a job now with my skill set in Swift UI, after a year of coding in it, I probably know enough now to do it. I don't know a lot about the newer stuff, Swift data and those sorts of things. I think it would just depend on the application. If I was to be looking to be employable, I'd definitely be learning a lot more about UI kit as well. Zaki, I work with React. Do you think I'm going to face any problems with the Apple Store? Is that React Native or the normal React? Because you can use platforms like Ionic Capacitor. So this Ionic Capacitor can work with React. And And people have good success building with capacitor in React. So I don't think you'd have an issue. Hello Zed, finally found the time to see you on live stream. Are you working on something, Zed? Is it middle of the night for you as well? Or are you in Australia where it's currently middle of the day? React Native. I don't think you'd have any issues with React Native in the App Store. A lot of apps run on React Native. I dabbled a little bit in React Native before switching to Swift. I found Swift to be a bit easier to create. But the benefit of React Native is being able to easily go from Android to Apple. Thailand. Kind of the same time zone, at least it's the daytime. Claude is running slow tonight. Zed, starting daily work soon, but coding indie apps before you start. That takes a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of commitment. Getting up early to do it. Oh no, I didn't want to execute it. So used to just testing live on the app. What I want to do is have the preview. Settings, animation view. Preview is missing environment option, caption settings. I guess. Zaki, I don't think you'll face any issues with the Apple Store. Not for React. I want this to be more like a table. Column headings will be Word and GIF location, search GIF location. You're welcome, Zaki. Sometimes I wonder if it's easier just to code it up than to go back and forth with AI, because sometimes it's great, other times you get just garbled mess. This is really not the ideal way of doing it in the slightest. Settings. Let's create a new one, and this one will be when I say test, search term will be Pikachu. Okay. This is a test. Let's see if it works. This should load Pikachu. Wonder if it's updating automatically. Garbage trucks out the front, a bit noisy out there. So that didn't update. Oh no, because I'm not even passing it through, of course. I'm not even checking for those keywords yet. So I am saving it to settings, caption settings, but I'm not actually checking for keywords on that level. It's all hard coded. I guess what I want to do is I want to show the GIF. I want an easy way to show what keywords trigger it and what GIF is being selected. I'm not happy with the code Claude has created for me. I do have another app that I've had, an interface that I've created on settings view. I wonder if I just copy that across. Okay, so what I did is I manually coded all of the elements. Go with that method. Save a bit of time. So this is the settings for my automatic screen capture app. Added some padding to it. I even have the width and the height 500 by 550. That seems to be a nice amount. Yep, that's a nice size. I also had a mask somewhere. The mask was on the V stack to give it that nice effect. So this no apps selected is where I want the mask to be. There. Oh, I keep pressing play. I don't mean to keep pressing play. It's just force of habit. I can make that smaller. I can bring that more into view. So we can see what I'm working on over here. So this is going to be the settings screen for managing words that trigger animations. And I have a nice, so the settings that I'm using, applications, screen. This is the settings that I've created that replicates what you see in like in the settings in Mac OS. So I like it. I want to add the plus and the minuses. So be able to highlight a word, adding plus and minuses. Actually, you know what? Like even just being able to turn it on and off. So we can just turn it on and off, add a new keyword, remove a keyword. All the functionality I've already built. Why am I re-coding all of this? Let's just build that exact, let's just copy paste that exact functionality and just start applying it to words. It's going to be quite a bit of a challenge getting there because of so much code that's just non-existent. But what I want is the functionality. If 0 = 0, else this will step through each of the, I guess, caption settings dot animation triggers. We have the icon. That'll come in handy because we want to replace that with the GIF. We have some selected color. Selected color. These need to be updated, don't they? Selected word, which will be animation trigger. Selected animation trigger. Animation trigger. Select color. Selected animation trigger. No member ID. Look at all those errors. Select a color, we should already have that sorted out. Cannot find applications in scope. What we actually have now is Selected. Caption settings. Animation triggers. Selected. Is enabled. We're going to default to true. True. We want to remove the search. No longer want search. Because what we're going to do is have the user being able to select the exact GIF that will appear. So we can search for it in this interface and then select which GIF we want to do. Zaki, do you think if I create a gem identifier, it's going to make good money? It's hard to say, but that was just an example of looking at sort of keywords, having a think about what you'd like to be able to identify and what use case there is, and then doing a search to find out if the keywords are low competition and high popularity. The lower the competition, the better. The higher the popularity, the better. And from my experience, some of them work, some of them don't work. If you put all your eggs in one basket and you make one app and it doesn't work, that sucks. But if you make 10 apps and 2 of them work, that's good. So I try not to spend like a whole year making one app. I like to have as many apps in the portfolio as I can and then lean into the ones that work. Actually, I realize I can tick off window setup. That's the first thing on my list, and then managing animations and styles the next. Sidat, have a nice day, guys. In Turkey, it's 4:25 AM right now. I need to sleep. See you later, Sidat. Thanks for checking in. Get some sleep. It's very late. Why did that trigger that? Ah, because I said thanks. That's a word that gets triggered. Also, what I should be doing is allowing customization of the overview to change the location and the size of it. That will come next. Is enabled. Is enabled. Observed object applications. The observed object now is captions. Settings, animation triggers, come back to saving it. Come back to this. Saving changes to enabling and disabling. animation trigger. Can remove this. So yeah, so this is the custom code for selecting functionality that we don't need just at this moment, because that's all related to the automatic capture at text test. Or is it button? Button, test, action, no action. Remove app. Remove app is a function. And we will now call it remove animation trigger. For the time being, it does nothing. Selected animation trigger, null. Guard. Selected animation trigger. Cannot find self in scope. My outside, no. Cannot find selected animation trigger in scope. Swift UI does weird things sometimes. We called it remove animation trigger. Go back up to here, remove animation trigger. Selected animation trigger. And then this whole thing is to select the folder. We don't need to select a destination or a folder. So we remove that. I have an extra, yeah, there's an extra bracket somewhere. Where is that extra bracket? That seems like it could be the culprit. Recording location, remove that. Z, you only do ASO for your apps, right? Seems like you're doing it very well. That's the main thing I do with the App Store optimization is the optimization for the apps. It works. I've just put apps in the App Store that work. This one is a little bit different because this app it'll be in the Mac Store, but I don't think people are using the Mac Store to find Mac Store. The captions are picking up something weird then. So I don't think people are looking in the Mac Store all that much. I think people are looking online and Google to finding a live auto caption. So this one will have its own website. Don't you think you need a website instead of app gallery? What would I put on my website, Zaki? app gallery, that was my personal profile. So it started out as my own website, and then I opened it up so anyone can sign up for app gallery and link up their apps with like a landing page. So the app gallery is just a landing page that has all your socials at the top and links to all of your apps that automatically updated from the App Store. Z, I don't think I've ever browsed the Mac Store. I've gone to it a couple of times and haven't found any app in there that I was looking for, so it's already burned me. The quality of the apps and the quantity of them are quite low, and it might take time. People might be conditioned to go to the App Store, but generally I think Google is the best way to market a Mac app. Trying to find this missing bracket somewhere. Okay, so the issue is somewhere in here, it would seem. No. There. Culprit's in here somewhere. If there it is. Like a blog, I think a lot of people are interested in getting many from apps. Think of it. I've got there's a Substack. I've got a Substack which sort of acts as the blog, I guess. Failed to build. So it's doing something I don't want it to do in here. So now, just have to step through and try to work out why it doesn't like it. Is it the logic or is it the view? Let's see. The view. Something in the view it doesn't like. that. That's taking a while to load. Is it that? It must be this bit. Ah, yep, so I've got name. It's the name. That's not what we're using. It is words, but it's a string, isn't it? Join. I want to join the string to show keywords like test, 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 where string is test, test, test. Joined separator. Close. I knew it was join. And the separator will be that. Oh, I have to map it. I've relaunched it again. Keep relaunching it. So now I've got the words here. I want to replace this with the GIF that will be displayed, the ability to turn it on and off. Just running through, working in my head whether oh, I can delete it. No, I can't. I haven't set up that logic yet. So at the moment, these are just words that are captured in the animation triggers, and I want to make an easy way to determine whether a word is in the animation trigger. And then it triggers it on the display. And I'm just trying to work out whether saving the words directly into caption settings is the best way to go, or whether animation triggers needs its own class. And then in its own class, I can manipulate it and change it independently of the caption settings. I've talked myself into it. Animation triggers. observable object. That's going to change some of the code that I've just written though. Animation trigger self.items equals items, but we'll hard code it for the time being before we initialize it. We're going to be saving that in the future. Oh, I've hit play again. That's not even going to compile because I've got a lot of messy code over here. Half the code, let me just restore it so I can bring captions back on again. Just going to break that force of habit pressing play. Alright. So animation triggers is its own class now. And I also have application as its own class. Applications. So I can recycle some of the code from this one. Don't want to load it. Don't need to save it. Should get in the habit of saving it, but just have it empty. I'm not writing to user defaults just yet, just trying to get the functionality to work. Add animation trigger. We're dealing with an array as well. Add word to animation trigger. That makes it. Add animation trigger. We're dealing with the array. Animation trigger. Cannot find type application. We don't want application. It needs to be animation trigger. Where animation trigger ID equals ID. Items remove. There we go. Animation triggers. Animation view. Animation trigger. Dot. Animation triggers. All references to this are now replaced with .items. All. Refresh. That was easier than I thought. And then we want to remove one, which will be caption settings dot animation triggers dot remove. I've called it remove animation application. I've lost it. Caption settings. I haven't put it in its own class yet. Remove animation trigger. Move animation trigger. Animation trigger will be selected animation trigger. Okay, sad. Remove. Love. Remove. Happy. Remove. And obviously this is just a preview. It doesn't actually affect the logic of the app at this stage. Yep, that works. No apps selected. No apps. No animation. Oh, that's why it's slow, because it's refreshing the preview every word. No triggers, no animation. No animation. Very slow. And animation triggers. Remove, 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 remove. No animation triggers. Not the best wording, is it? Let's get some different music. Choose the words that will trigger animations on your choose the trigger animations. That's better. We should have the ability to override all of them, because if I'm on a stream and I want to turn off the full screen triggers but don't want to have to go through and manually unclick all of them, I should have the option to enable animation triggers, allow animation triggers. We do want to have an on change. Save changes. And then I want the corner radius and mask. Allow animation triggers, that turns it on and off. So I can just go in there, I can turn them all off, or I can manage individual ones. And that seems to be the way to go, because if I had to be doing a stream that's a bit more professional, you want to turn them off. But in doing so, I don't have to turn each one off individually. and stretch my legs. Just remembered I got an appointment at 2 o'clock, so I gotta leave in like half an hour. Set alarm 2:40 p.m. No. Set alarm 1:40 p.m. Okay, so I've got the ability to remove this, toggle them on and off. Now I want to add. Keywords. And edit, right? We want to edit as well. How would I go about editing? So I can, with this setup, I can highlight it to delete it. That preview slows down what I'm doing so much. Add animation trigger. Let's put some different music on. These are royalty free. Playlists. So I've got from my existing app the ability to add animations. Windows to add windows. So the code that I used, add a window, show dialog get executable name. That's not what we want. NS window. I haven't. So now what I need to do is create a new window to manage and edit triggered words. I might go back to there. I'm not quite sure if I can do this in the preview. So when we click add, it's going to open up a new window. In SwiftUI on Mac OS, how to create a button that opens a view as a new window. NS window, open new window. New window will be called add animation, add any trigger view. Add animation trigger view. Hard to tell if it's laggy now because of the keyboard or because of the preview. Open add. So we've already got a function for adding add animation trigger. We want to put that in there. So we will grab that code, put that in there. We want is add trigger window presented. And then this is the actual view. Add trigger. We can go back and clean it up. Just got to get it to work first. Missing that one there. Can't be used in the builder state. GIF location. GIF URL. And I even think we decided to remove the search. Yes, there's no search in there. It's words GIF URL is enabled. Words GIF URL is enabled, is enabled. Where are we getting GIF? So GIF URL, GIF URL, GIF location. GIF location, GIF URL. Replace all. Go URL. We do want it to be a URL. Might end up being optional. Can it be an optional? Will that work? Got two errors. One passing it. Well, that's fixed itself now. Will it work in the preview? It wants to do something, but I don't know if that's because it's the preview. Let's execute it. Settings. Add. Yes, we got a window. We don't need the search term. We've decided to remove the search term. Whoa, error. We saw this before. This is my updated code. Yeah, the keyboard was definitely lagging because of the preview. When I close the window, I get a hard crash. Oh, well, that's the wrong one. Add. Close. There we are. Got like 10 more minutes on stream and then I'm going to be winding up. I think once this is actually not crashing. There's a lot of code to do Windows in Mac OS. Is there an easier way? Is there a more elegant way? Is there a more elegant way? This seems so complicated. You're right. The previous approach, while functional, is indeed quite complex for what should be a relatively simple task. In SwiftUI, we can often achieve the same results with less code and in a more SwiftUI native way. Is it just a sheet? Does that work? Zed, do I have a schedule for my stream? Would love to come and check in with you again. I generally, when I can sit down to do some coding, during like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Australian time zone. So I'm not quite sure what that translates to in your time zone, but around about this time, around about 4 or 5 hours when I start. Around about, yeah, less 4 hours. And on Monday and Tuesday, I'm coding. On Thursday, I usually do a live stream to sort of help people out with their App Store optimization. And then on Friday, try to do some coding as well. But it's really dependent on kids and schedule and everything like that. But I try to be regular. Things keep popping up. So usually, at least try to get on once or twice a week. So keep an eye out, subscribe, and check in. We have sheet. That's what we're doing. Let's just add it here to see if it works. It'd be nice to just have a sheet that loads it. Yes. I can deal with that. I can deal with a sheet loading up in the middle of it. That saves a lot of the messing around with creating a whole new window. I think at this stage, double clicking that should bring it up. Got to finish my MVP and show it to you on a Thursday. That'll be great. I'd be interested to check it out. Hopefully finish in the next 2 weeks. That's a good time frame to set, I think. Okay, so clickable area is not too big there. I want to be able to add more of a clickable area. Padding 7, I guess. Settings. Okay. Oh, the leading was 5. Vertical, we could probably do vertical padding, horizontal leading, which would be 7, trailing 2. We can remove the padding outside of the box, we can put it in there. Settings, add. So there's a bigger clickable area now. So the question is, do I get stuck into that next bit of code? Or call it a day? I think I'm calling it a day. I think I'll wind up. So in today's stream, successfully created this animation settings in there. I got one thing off my list. Setting up the window. And then I wanted to be able to, I was hoping to get a lot further on the progress of managing these keywords as like a rough version of it. Nearly there. But yeah, forgot that I've got an appointment in like 20 minutes. And then I want to have a cool down with the animations. Didn't get to there either. But it's coming along. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out. I'll be